Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Mastermind. I'm Paul Baxter with Mortgage Mastermind Group. We are here to help you grow. Today, guys and girls, I have a great class for you today. We talk about social media quite a bit. One of the forgotten social medias, and in my opinion, one of the single best list builders that's out there is LinkedIn. So what we're going to talk about today is leveraging LinkedIn to grow your network. LinkedIn, again, it is one of it's a fantastic place for list building, and it's a great place to be able to display yourself as an expert in something. It doesn't get the same attention that Facebook does, but because it is business specific, you can really do a lot of things in terms of growing your professional network. It's not going to be the relationship builder that Facebook is. Facebook is all about relationships. That's where you're going to engage with people and like it when Johnny hits a home run at Little League and say, ooh, I like that kind of coffee too when Susie posts about her coffee. That's a relationship place. LinkedIn is much more specific to the business side of things, and it allows you to build that professional network to give you those opportunities to get to that next level, which is relationship building. The first thing you need to know about LinkedIn is you need to get to know your dashboard. And just looking at who's on the call with us today, I'm assuming everybody on this call has a LinkedIn profile. Yes? Just yes or no if you've got a LinkedIn profile. I'm assuming that everybody does have a LinkedIn profile. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So I don't need to tell you go and sign up for LinkedIn or any of that stuff. Everybody's got a profile. Now, as we go through today's presentation, I'm going to show you some things about your profile that hopefully will help you enhance it a little bit to get the most amount of impact out of LinkedIn and growing your professional network. So the first thing that you need to know is to get to know your dashboard. And when I say a dashboard, I'm referring to what it looks like when you first log into LinkedIn. This is what is called your dashboard, is where all of your controls are. Some people call it a control panel. You can call it your tabs. I'm going to refer to this as your dashboard. And your dashboard's got several buttons. You've got your home button, your profile button, connections, jobs, interests, and then your personal dashboard are things like your inbox, your notifications, your requests to connect, and then your own personal, your own settings, your account settings, so to speak. We're not going to go through each and every one of these today. We're going to cover a majority of the things that are on your dashboard today. A couple of things to note while we're on this screen. When you're on your home screen, this is the same thing as being on your home screen on Facebook. It's in essence your LinkedIn news feed. It's letting you know the activity of the groups that you're involved with as well as the activity of the people you're connected with. Bear with me one moment. Excuse me. So your home screen is your news feed. It's where you get to see what activity is going on with the people you're connected with. It allows you to have an engagement based on business communications. What's cool about, again, LinkedIn is all about business, so you can post things about the latest rates that have come out and your opinion of that. You can post things about the FHA 203K program that allows people to renovate their home when they move in, and it's super easy to do, and you can really help people get into more home than they thought possible with a renovation type loan. Whatever you're talking about, you can promote that in your news feed, and it works the same way. You can see right up here at the very top, I got a little space here, share updates, and that's what it's looking for, is me to post a message of some sort. I can attach things to it. I can put links. I can put images just like you can on Facebook. It works very, very similarly. Some additional things that you're going to find in your home screen are things like people you may know. It's trying to generate more connections for you. LinkedIn knows that the power of its network services is the power in connecting business professionals to one another, whether it be for jobs. For our purposes, it's to grow our network of influence. Okay, you've got most recent visited, it's got suggestions on groups you may like, lots of different things as you scroll down. Your profile is exactly what that is. That's your personal profile. We're going to cover some things in your profile shortly here that's important, so we'll get back to that. Your connections are where you can see the people that you're connected to. in addition to people that are contacts that you've uploaded but you're not necessarily connected to. It will show you both of those things. If you've got a contact that you've uploaded in a list somewhere, and LinkedIn does allow you to upload lists, it's not necessarily connection, and you can filter those two things. I am going to show you a very specific strategy on how to utilize connections in just a little bit here, so we will talk about that. Interests are things like the groups that you belong to. Tomorrow is the day that we're going to cover. Groups are a whole class by itself, and there is a very specific strategy that we're going to cover with groups tomorrow that will help you leverage the use of groups into getting more connections, but these connections see you as a professional and see you as different already, see you as an expert in specific things, and it really will help you leverage to generating more and more relationships and growing your circle of influence. This is exactly what it sounds like. Your messages, your notifications. Notifications are things like when you get involved in a post in a group, you'll get a notification when somebody engages back with you or responds to what you've said. Messages, if people send you private messages inside of LinkedIn, it's like in-mail is what they call it. You can send messages back and forth. You'll get a little notification or a number up here showing you how many messages that you have. And then this is pretty obvious, requests to connect. These are people that have sent you a request to connect with them. You won't get a number showing how many people you've requested to connect with, but when they've requested to connect with you, you do get a notification and a number will appear there. You simply click on it and you can connect. Okay, so that's your dashboard in a nutshell. Are there any questions about the dashboard itself? It's pretty cut and dry what the dashboard does. Some of the ones that I get the most questions on are like, what all is under interests? How do I edit my profile? The easiest way is go to profile. You'll find a big giant edit button right smack dab in the middle of it. Some people find it difficult to navigate their way around the connections tab. Again, we're going to go into that in just a minute here, so bear with me on that. Doesn't look like we've got any questions on that. So moving on to the next step is to, as we're talking through, when you go to connect with people, one of the big things that you have to do is make sure that your profile is really awesome. You don't want to have the same mundane, same old run-of-the-mill profile that every other loan officer has, because that differentiates you in no way whatsoever. So have fun with it. Make your profile awesome. What my friend Judy has done is, instead of just saying Judy Hamilton, mortgage lender and her mortgage company, she says Judy Hamilton, mortgage lender that rocks with both realtors and happy customers. That's utilizable space in that section of your profile. Why not use it to do something fun and that makes you stand out above and beyond the competition? You can't tell me that when a real estate agent goes and sees a request to connect from multiple mortgage lenders in her area that they don't see Judy since a mortgage lender that rocks. It puts a smile on their face. It triggers a different emotion or a different feeling that they get from just reading Judy Hamilton, mortgage lender. I can't remember the name of Judy's mortgage company at this point, but Mortgages USA. And that's it. That's just, that doesn't elicit any emotion or feeling, but seeing something fun, something a little more upbeat, mortgage lender that rocks with both, that paints a picture and it creates a little bit different emotion. Use the space that's available to you to do something like that. In addition to that being part of her profile is awesome because she's included an amazing summary. Don't think for a minute that people that you're trying to connect with, as you start going through some of the different strategies that we're going to talk about over today and tomorrow, as you start going through that, don't think for a minute that people are not clicking on your name, going to your profile, and seeing what you're all about. Right? They're going there. They don't want to just see that you went to Cal State, Fullerton, and that you've been a mortgage lender for these 3 companies over the last 50. They don't, that's the boring stuff. They don't want to just see that. They want to get to know who you are, so give them an opportunity to do so. So what Judy has done is she's created a summary, which all of you have a summary section, and most of us put the same old, mortgage lending for 15 years in the mortgage lending industry. I love I love helping customers find the best mortgage for their family. It's the same old, same old. Write a good summary. Here's who I help. Here's how I help them. And here's what I'd like how I'd like to help you. Something broken down like that. I'm truly passionate about being a mortgage broker. My business, it has a lot to do with satisfied clients, trusted financial advisors, and the most experienced realtors throughout the state. My mission is to carefully guide clients through the entire home loan process and have them feel confident as they make choices about the many options available for their financing strategy. Who do I help? All real estate professionals who are looking for the best rates, superior service, and a knowledgeable advisor to help navigate their clients through the home financing process. It goes on, and I highly recommend that you create a summary like that on your profile because, again, I firmly believe that when you start to connect and as you start to grow your network, and with tomorrow's strategy especially, and you'll understand more when we go through that, but utilizing groups and becoming active in places like that are only going to serve to help you get people to, you're looking to get people to look at you. When you do, you need to give them some guts. I will tell you, I am a big, I like to stay humble. I think it's the best sales approach to be humble. You never want to be the one that brags on yourself. You want others to brag on you. You don't want to be the one to brag on yourself. That being said, your profile, the summary of your profile is the one and only time that it is okay for you to not be humble. That's when I want you to be your most conceited self. Brag on yourself in that moment. That's the time to do so. This is when you get it's your opportunity. A big thing that we covered, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had a day where we talked about the 30-second elevator speech and how to structure that and how to come up with a nice little 30-second elevator speech that allows people to get to know who you are, what you're about, and how you can help them in a really short fashion. Again, it's not time to be humble. That's a perfect thing to include in your summary as your 30-second elevator speech. That's the perfect thing to include there. One of the things that Judy does, and I wish I didn't get the picture big enough, one of the things that she does is she also includes her contact information in the summary. She makes it easy for those that are reading to reach out and connect with her. She includes her telephone number, she includes her email address, she includes her link on Facebook for people to connect with her socially. Excuse me. All those different things are factors in generating more and more business and growing your network. And it's all about influence on LinkedIn because, again, it is business specific. This is the one place you don't want to be humble, and tell them who you are and what you're about and how you help people. What are you passionate about? How do you help them? Who is it that you help? Those things are what you would include in your summary. Great idea to do. And then make sure, if you have not, I've seen a couple of profiles recently where you go through and they've got maybe 1 or 2 skills. They don't have all of their skills. Well, listen, you're in the mortgage business. You've got all the skills that are related to the purchase of a home. So you want to have those skills. And people are endorsing you. You'll notice that when you log in to LinkedIn, you'll have a little thing that says, at the very top of the screen, so-and-so has endorsed you. Would you like to endorse them back? Endorse as many people as the system will let you do, because those people will typically, 80% of those people will endorse you right back. It's kind of a tit-for-tat kind of thing. I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Same thing works with recommendations. Recommend somebody, an agent that you've worked with. They will likely turn around and recommend you back, and the reason for it is because LinkedIn prompts them to do so. That's one of the neat things and one of the good things you can say about LinkedIn, even on the free version of LinkedIn. When somebody recommends you, you get that notification in your box when you're reading it, the very last thing, and it's big, bright, and bold. It stands out, says, would you like to recommend so-and-so? Most people will. Most people will. They'll absolutely reciprocate. So make sure you get in the habit of doing that. Now, once you have your profile set up, you need to start connecting with people. And there's a couple of ways to connect with people. I mentioned when we were looking at that home screen over on that right-hand side, you've got that section called People You May Know. there's a See More button, and when you click that, that's going to pop open a screen with about 20 to 30 people you may know. Typically, it's second-degree connections. And what a second-degree connection is, oh boy, I didn't think about including that as part of this PowerPoint. Does everybody know the difference in a first, a second, or a third-degree connection on LinkedIn? I guess the better question is there anybody that doesn't know the difference between a second, a third, what a first-degree connection is somebody that you're directly connected with. You sent them, they sent you a connect request, you accepted it, they accepted it, whatever it is, you're a direct connection. A second-degree connection is a person that is connected to a person that you are also connected with. So there is, let's say, Jim is in the middle, and Steve is connected to Jim. I am connected to Jim, but Steve and I are not connected. For Steve, I am a second-degree connection. For me, Steve is a second-degree connection because we're both connected to Jim. That's what a second-degree connection. What a third-degree connection is Terry is connected to Steve, who is connected to Jim. I am connected to Jim. So to me, Terry is a third-degree connection. I hope that makes sense. The way that LinkedIn set it up, there probably could have been a better way to come up with a way to let people know, where in the network they fall, because that's what it's all about, is networking. But once you understand that a first-degree connection is a direct connection, second degree is somebody connected to a similar person, and third degree is a connection to a connection that you're connected with, once you understand that, it makes sense to you. It is easier. You have less verification to do when you connect with a second-degree connection than you do with a third-degree connection. You typically have to prove that you know that person to get the connection to go. So people you may know is usually going to be all second-degree connections, and it's much easier that you're kind of being prompted to connect with those people. So always look in there. The other way to do it is to do a search. So you could type in something like real estate, and search for people who are interested in real estate. Typically, that comes from their profile, and those are going to be your real estate agents. Then what you do is you narrow down, or you filter your search. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And add your local area. You can add only second-degree connections. You can add only people who are members of the same group as you. There's lots of different filters. The search program, or the search engine on LinkedIn, is a really, really robust search. Very intuitive. You can search for real estate interested groups. You can search for people who are interested in real estate. You can break it down by your area. You can search for people who are named Jim that are interested in real estate, and it will give you all those people. A very, very robust search. So absolutely use it. Great way to connect. And again, this is like Doris would be a second-degree connection for me. So I would have an easy time of connecting with her, but if you scroll down and get to like a third-degree connection, I may have a little more difficult time connecting with that person. All right, so once you have a few connections, now you need to start communicating with them, right? So the way that you best communicate inside of LinkedIn is through their InMail service. But to do it, I'm going to walk you through a process that is going to save you time, and it's going to make this a really efficient method of communication. The first thing that you've got to do is tag your connections. Now, to tag your connections, I've got some steps here. The first step is to click the Connections tab from your control panel or your dashboard, and then sort your list. And this is what it looks like. I clicked on Connections, and then in the Connections section, I went Sort By, and it's defaulted to recent conversations. I just drop that down and I select New. What that does is it brings me up all my new connections. Step 2 is to filter by connections only. Remember, I had mentioned that you're going to have contacts on there too. There is a difference between contacts and connections, and what we're doing here is we just want to communicate to our connections. Okay, so we're going to filter by connections next. Step 3 is to hover over any connection any connection on your list, and the tag option will appear. You'll see it kind of pop up as you go into it. And what I mean, so if you look, I don't have the tag option underneath Eric Lapiri, but under Arnie, I do have the tag option, and you can clearly see that's where my mouse is, so it pops up this little tag option here. Step 4 is you're going to click on the tag icon. You have a few tags by default. Friends, colleagues, I think classmates is one, group members, partners. Those are some of the default tags that you can use. What you're going to do is you're going to click on Add New Tags down here. What that'll do is it'll pop open this little extra section here where you can create as many tags as you want. Just click, type in the new tag, save, type in the new tag, save. And what you're going to do is you're going to create multiple realtor tags. So you're going to have a realtor 1, a realtor 2, realtor 3, realtor 4, realtor 5 tags. As you can see, I've done that here. I've got my realtors, realtors 2, 3, realtors 4, realtors 5. The reason we're doing that, under each connection, click tags, click the tags, and then select a realtor tag checkbox. So under Arnie's name again. So again, what we did is we clicked on tags under Arnie's name, and then we added new. So we had to add our realtor tags first. Once we did that, we clicked on tags again under Arnie's name, and then we clicked on what group we want to add it to. So Arnie is a fishing guide in Patagonia, and so what I wanted to do was add him to one of my fishing groups. So I simply put the check mark by there. You don't even have to click save. You simply click off and it's added that tag. You'll notice that once I put the checkbox there, it adds that tag underneath them. So people can be in multiple tags at a time. The maximum number per tag is 50. Let me repeat that. The maximum number of people that you want to put in each tag is 50 people. You cannot, you can put more people in a tag. You can put all of your connections in the same tag. That's entirely up to you. But I'm telling you, for the strategy that I'm showing you right now, 50 people maximum per tag. That's why you created Realtor 1, Realtor 2, Realtor 3, Realtor 4. So why are we doing this? We're doing this to send our connection messages, like emails, directly inside of LinkedIn. So we're going to send them a message right inside of LinkedIn. But we can do it to that group of 50. So why are we doing this? It's when we do it this way, a message inside of LinkedIn is sent and seen as a private message. And tell me if I'm wrong on, I will tell you my default settings are still set. Has anybody on here gone into their settings on LinkedIn and changed their notifications in any way? I'm going to take that silence as a no. I haven't either. I've never done it. Most people don't. Most people don't. Their settings are on the default setting. And what that means to you is when you send them a message, they're getting an email from LinkedIn saying, hey, you've got a new message from Paul Baxter. And it puts the message right there in that email. Then there's a button that clicks that says go to see the message. And they can go to LinkedIn and my messages, or if they log into LinkedIn, I've now got a notification. They've got a message from Paul Baxter. So it's being double delivered, once to their email because of the default settings on LinkedIn, and once to their in-mail box on LinkedIn. It's a great way to get that message seen. Make sure that it's delivered and seen. Really great way to do that. So the way that you do that, step 1, go to your Connections tab in your dashboard like we did before. This time you're going to filter by tags, and then you're going to select one of your tags of 50. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're going to go to your connections. You're going to filter by tags. Once you click that tags button, all your different tags will come up, and then you will click one of your groups that has 50 in it. Now, step 2, it is very important that you follow the process of step 2. Before you click the select all option, you absolutely have to scroll down to the bottom of that tag, that group of connections that are in that tag, you have to keep scrolling down until it exposes all of them. LinkedIn displays 10 connections at a time on the page. You must scroll down to display all the connections in that tag. Again, no more than 50. That's the maximum you're going to have in there. So you'll have to scroll down a couple of times and you'll get to a bottom. When you do that, even though you're scrolling to the bottom, that select all option stays right where it is. It kind of moves or floats with you as you scroll down the page. You have to do this, though, so that you get all 50 in your tag. Now, once you've selected all, you're going to click up at the top. Again, let me show you where it is on this page so you can see it didn't move. We selected all here, and this message is right up here as well. That's the next step, is you're going to click Message. When you click that, you'll see all the recipients that you have in that group, in that tag of 50. And below that is a place for your subject line, your message body, and you're just going to complete your message. So all my people in my tag are up above here, and my message, my subject is Facebook and real estate, complete how-to. Hey there, I just wanted to let you know I'm teaching a class on how to use Facebook to win more listings and generate buyer leads on the 25th. A lot of real estate agents have been asking me lately about using Facebook. Is it really that important? Am I just wasting my time trying to do business with it? Well, I'm going to share those answers on Thursday the 25th at American Title on 9th. I should have put street there because that sounds like 25th and on the 9th. 25th on 9th Street. I will be going over why Facebook is important and a specific strategy you can use to make real money with it. Just RSVP with me at 555-1212. I look forward to meeting with you there, and so on, right? Now I'm ready to send the message. Not so fast. Step 5, very important step not to miss. Do not skip this step. Directly under the body of your message, and you'll see it, I'll show it to you, is a line of text that says allow all recipients to see each other's names and email address. By default, when you're doing messages, by default, the checkbox at the beginning is checked. You absolutely need to uncheck that box. So there it is right there, right under the message. Allow all recipients to see each other's names and email addresses. Uncheck that box. You'll notice I took a couple of screenshots of what we got going on here. That box is by default seen there. Okay? It is by default seen there. I had to physically go in and uncheck that box to make sure that this goes out as a blind carbon copy. Now I'm sending a BCC. Now I've got a blind carbon copy that I'm able to send to everyone, and we're in really good shape now, right? I'm sending a blind carbon copy. Send the message. Now you're going to just simply click the send button, and the message goes out. Again, I've unchecked that box so all the recipients are not getting it. And that's all I've got for today's specific step-by-step how-to. Again, tomorrow we're going to go deep into how to utilize groups and how to leverage groups into gaining more. First of all, we're going to use the groups to brand ourselves as an expert. Once we've branded ourselves as that expert, we're going to take that and leverage that into opportunities for face-to-face, one-on-one opportunities. So that being said, what questions do we have? I know there are some folks on here who are not learned LinkedIn users, so what questions do we have? I know I covered quite a bit of things all at the same time there. So as you can see, I've got a little notification here. Let's see what that is. What's my notification? 2 people have viewed my profile. So I'm getting a little notification that, hey, somebody has checked out my profile recently. Okay? That's awesome stuff. I've got a little notification here. Hey, I've got an invitation to connect. So I can come over to my invitation, and I see that Terry has a pending invitation to connect, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And we're now connected on LinkedIn. And that comes from somebody checking out my profile first, seeing what I'm all about, and then making a determination that, hey, I'd like to connect with that person. A big part of what we talked about today is editing that profile, getting your profile set up the way you want it to deliver the message that you want to deliver. Now I've got mine geared up towards I'm looking for sponsorship opportunities for the fishing side of things and my tournament fishing. So I have my LinkedIn profile geared up for that. Now I will tell you, if anybody is asking, you know me guys, that I will be 100% transparent with you when I actively do it, and I haven't for the last 2 months, but there was a 4-month period of time that I was actively utilizing LinkedIn, and I was doing the exact same things that I'm teaching you guys. I utilized groups to grow my connections. I leveraged my connections through private messages to large numbers at a time. And the truth of the matter is I picked up 3 of my main sponsors in 4 months by doing that. Okay, I've had other companies sending me product. So for what I do, and what I'm looking to get out of my LinkedIn profile, it's absolutely working for me. And I know the reason I used it that way, the reason I started doing that, you guys saw me in the presentation PowerPoint. I showed you a specific person's profile. Well, I started doing things with my fishing stuff based on what she was telling me she was doing with her LinkedIn profile for her mortgage business and the results that she was having. Okay? So what I'm doing on the fishing side of things, I'm showing you my profile and why it's set up as a fishing type deal, but it's doable, and I'm just copying what a mortgage lender is actually doing and how she's doing it. And it's working. Fantastic results. Jim's got a great question here, and I hope I'm gonna say that that's mostly my fault, Jim. I probably got a little bit dry in the presentation and didn't make it interactive enough. The question is, your instructions were clear, but it's a little bit too much information for me. All at the same time, how do you recommend that we go about really learning how to use LinkedIn without getting lost? The first thing I would say, Jim, is utilize these daily mastermind classes. Any specific questions, any small pieces that you feel like you maybe missed, or hey, can you clarify something? Feel free to ask them here. Shoot me an email. This is the first of the LinkedIn training. This is the first LinkedIn training that I've done for the Mortgage Mastermind group. So this doesn't necessarily have to be the last. And again, tomorrow I'm going to go into another specific strategy that kind of deserves its own day because it is such it is a little bit more technical strategy. There's a lot more, not moving parts, I don't want to say that, but it's very specific on exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. And again, I'm literally copying what Judy did with the fishing side of things on my profile, and I saw results, and the results came, I don't want to say quickly because it's not a quick thing. It wasn't poof, I had results. It's out of nowhere the results came. It took a little bit of things, nothing happening, and then poof, out of nowhere the results started coming. Okay? So I'm going to give you the exact same strategy. Now, as far as learning that specifically, Jim, I'm here to help you, hold your hand in any way that I can, as you well know. And welcome back, by the way. How was the trip? Remind me again, because I want to brag on you for a minute here, Jim. How many years and the reason for the trip, how many years? Oh goodness, I might have lost Jim there for a minute. Okay, so that's why I'm bragging on him. That's I thought it was that. So Jim is back with us, guys and girls, and most of you know our good friend Jim Rice. He's out of the Cleveland, out of the Ohio area, actually Chicago area. I don't know why I said that, but Chicagoland. He was on a European vacation. Went on an awesome vacation for him and his wife's 50th wedding anniversary. 50th wedding anniversary. That is you know what, that especially in today's age, that is a feat that not a lot of people can brag and say that they've done, that they've accomplished. That is a major accomplishment. So I commend you on that, my friend. Now back to talking about LinkedIn stuff. Yeah, as far as the specifics and the particulars, you know, realistically, the things that I've learned, I learned by kind of playing around with it. I taught Judy quite a few things about her profile, but then she turned around and taught me quite a few things about the profile and how it works for her. The thing that you've got to be willing to do is go in and play with it. Just go in and click on your profile and start playing around with some of the options that you've got. I mean, experiences is pretty cut and dry. Your education section, pretty cut and dry. Go into the skills section. Click on the edit button and add multiple skills. Add more skills if you don't have a lot. You know, make sure that you've got your endorsement part is set up correctly. Change the order of your skills. You can add and remove some, which is a cool thing to do. Manage endorsements. Have endorsements. Do you want to display? How many do you want people to see when they come by? Do you want to be seen as that expert? So go in and edit those different things. The main thing is your summary. That's the part that people are actually reading. You know, this other stuff, your experiences, if you can do loans, you wouldn't say mortgage lender here. They're reading your summary. That is the number one thing that people are doing, is picking up. They're going and actually reading your summary, which, you know, if you think about it, it makes sense. The number one clicked button on any website is the About Us section. That is hands down the number one button click. It makes sense that our profiles, the About Us or the summary section, would be the number one read thing. Judy even made mention that she will get private messages from people that she's never met before that will send her a message commenting on the summary. Oh, your profile is one of the best I've ever seen. You know, I feel like I already know you just by looking at your profile. That's the impression that you want to get when you're setting up your LinkedIn profile, is paint that picture. So that's probably the biggest part of it, is what do you write in the summary, because that's what people are looking at. So in the PowerPoint, I did include, let me see, where did I include it? I included it somewhere. Yep, I included Judy's actual summary there. Please be respectful. I mean, I wouldn't go and copy it word for word. Yes, it is very good. Yes, she spent some time and it's well thought out, but please don't go and copy it word for word and just mirror what Judy's done here. By all means, use it as a template. What I'm saying, I'm sharing it with you because I want you guys to use it as a template. It's good stuff, okay? That's why I'm sharing it with you. But please don't just copy it word for word. Go in, edit it, tweak it a little bit, put it into your own words. I know for me, her speech is way too professional for me. I got to throw a little bit of redneckism in there for it to make it sound like it's coming from me. And so do the same thing. You know, I'm not saying make yours redneck. Just put it into your own words, make it your own. But definitely do something similar. Tell your readers who you are, who you help, how you help them. You know, that's a big deal. And then everyone should be including a way to get in touch with you. Give them a way to contact you. That is a really big deal. So if I go in to, let's see here, I'm just going to randomly choose I'm going to go to my connections, I think. And I'm going to filter my connections by tags. I'm going to go to my loan officers tags, and I'm just going to randomly choose one here. And I'm just kind of scrolling through, randomly choose. Let's randomly choose one. Not a single way to get in touch. Yep, not a single way to get in touch with poor Sharon here. I have no way of contacting Sharon if I wanted to get in touch with her. That's why it's important to include that in your summary. Okay? Notice the difference here. And I don't mean to pick on poor Sharon. I grabbed somebody randomly. My guess is that 90% of us on the call will have a similar issue. Notice that here in Judy's profile, I've got multiple ways to get in touch with her. And then if I even make it all the way down to the bottom of her profile after seeing all of her endorsements and skills and recommendations and everything else, where did it go? There's a section here that I passed up. It's a whole section here. Additional info. Under additional info, she included the section about advice for contacting Judy. That's part of your profile. So if you go into your profile, and you come down to your section called additional information, and you click on your edit key, you've got advice for contacting Paul. But you've got to have this additional information set up there. What if you don't have that in there? Well, then you've got to add that section. You've got to take a section and drag it on over here and add that to your profile. You know, you've got to add those sections if you don't have it. But in your additional information section, you have to have your contact info. You have to have one or the other or both. You know, notice what Judy's doing here. She's got it in the summary because, again, this is the first place. This is the first thing people are going to reach. She's got it here, and in case you missed it, she's got it in her additional information. Additional things to know about Judy. That's a well put together profile. Now, in the past, you'll notice on my profile, underneath my summary, I've got this little video. If people would actually click on it, that will actually play a video right on my profile. Unfortunately, people don't click on it. The reason it's there is in the past, I had the ability to have that video on my profile, but I could auto-play it. I could make it auto-play, so when somebody clicked on my profile to check me out, my voice would begin talking to them. That was fantastic. Unfortunately, that's only available on the Pro version, if it's even still available for the Pro version. I know it's not available for us on the free side anymore. As a matter of fact, the application that allows you to utilize images, you can even put presentation materials in here, by the way, guys. But the application that was used for that has changed. It's a very basic application now. To add a video to your profile if you'd like to do so, and I recommend it. Not very many people are going to click on it. But again, what we're looking to do is brand ourselves as different, to differentiate ourselves. So what you do under the background section, you come right here, you've got this little add button. You've got this add link or upload a file. So if you go add link, you can put your link in there, and it adds it as a new section. No, cancel. Cancel. Thank you. Cancel those. All right, so what questions do we have, guys? I am talked out on what we've got going on for today, talking about our profile, talking about connections, talking about adding connections and tagging them. I want to make sure that that's very clear. When you first go to your connections, by default, it's going to sort you to recent conversations. So what you want to do when you're tagging is you just come in first things first and go to new. Anybody that's not under a tag will show up as new. Now Arnie shows up as Fishing 3 already because I've already tagged him, so he's still in my new. Some of them, depending on the way that you connect with them, will show up as like some of the default tags, like friends. This is somebody from high school, so she shows up as a friend. Some will show up as group members. Yep, there's a friend one. A lot of mine come in as friend. It just depends on how you connect with somebody. But what you're going to want to do is not contacts, go to connections, and now you're looking at just your connections, not your contacts that you're associating with. And when you're ready to tag someone, you simply click on the tags button by their name. Now I'm going to take him off the friends list, and he's going to get added to the loan officers list, right? And that's it. I've just changed the tag for him. And so let's say I want to send a message. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter by tags, and I'm going to filter by that specific tag. So I'm going to go to my Fishing 1. Now if I select all now, watch what happens when I click message. I'm only going to be sending a message to 10 people, right? But if I come backwards, and I've got the same group here, but if I scroll down, watch the bottom of my screen here. When I get to the bottom, it loads more. Do you see it loading for that brief second? It loaded more. And I get to the bottom, it loads more until it loads all of them. And even though I've done that, my Select All button stays up at the top, and when I select all, I now have the ability to do a message. Now for me, I know I made it step 6 or 5 to do. First thing I do is uncheck that Allow All Recipients, and then I begin my message. You can do messages about your webinar classes that you guys have access to. You can do a message inviting people to the live training that you're doing. You can do a message about, hey, did you know that the new FHA regulations are out and here's what it means to you. It's all business on LinkedIn, so it's okay to send those private messages relating to business on LinkedIn. It's actually beneficial. They're looking for it, and they're thankful that they got it. They're coming to LinkedIn for business information to grow their network, those types of things. So oblige them. Be part of their network. Give them business solutions, ways to grow their business. Give them ideas on educate them on things that they need to know to be efficient in their business. Educate them on how a FHA 203K works. Educate them on HECM purchases on reverse mortgages. You know, let them know that yes, you can get an 80-year-old into a brand new home. Here's how it works. Let me educate you. That's all I've got for today, guys. You were an awfully quiet crowd today. Awfully quiet crowd today. That either means I gave you all the information and there were no need for any additional questions, or, like Jim said, it got a little bit overwhelmed. We got too much information all in one PowerPoint. That's why I didn't want to go into that groups thing today, too, because I didn't want to give you too many things all at the same time. I want you guys to be able to implement this stuff. So that's all I've got for today, guys. No additional questions. I appreciate that, my friend. Guys, girls, that's it for me today. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a very specific strategy on exactly how to use groups to get more people to see you as an expert and start reaching out to you, asking you for advice. That's how you're going to get loans out of the thing. What we did today, it's a way to communicate. It's a way to stay in touch. It's cool stuff. Tomorrow is a true loan getting strategy that I can tell you from firsthand experience. I know for a fact it does indeed work if you do it this way. So join me tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We will see you then. Boys and girls, thank you for your time today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you right here, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.